Guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. On the channel today, I'm pulling out one of these classic Masters of the Universe storybooks from the Golden Books era in the 80s. This is the story of the Horde. Golden Books were responsible for some of the most beautifully designed He-Man books of the time. They would have a completely new story with lush painted artwork to accompany the tale. There were several series of different books that were released. This one that I'm looking at today is from the large hardcover series. Open this book and enter a world where anything can happen. That is their promise to you. Anyway, there were 6 books in total for this particular set of volumes. So for completists, you don't have to go that far to get this entire thing in your collection. Now the covers would usually be great, but to be fair, the interior art was sometimes all over the place. You would have panels where the art looks really well rendered. Like for instance, these full page spreads of Skeletor here, okay, just look simply stunning. Okay, Skeletor just gets the best artwork pieces in this entire book. But then you'd also have other panels where the art looks less defined, more haphazard, and maybe even clumsy. Now, the story focuses on an assault by the evil Horde upon Eternia. By the way, just look at the size of Leech's mouth here. It's like you could park the Talon Fighter in there. Now, this story details a version of He-Man's first meeting with Hordak, and the writing overall is pretty good, maybe with even more matured elements than what you would expect from a children's storybook from the 1980s. But getting down to the title of this video, the most disturbing scene in a Masters of the Universe storybook. And let me just point out that in most of these books, when it comes to the depiction of the characters, you do expect there to be some variations between how they look like in the cartoon and also the toys and all other printed media. So in a way, every form of publication or media has their own take on Masters of the Universe. But overall, the artist's impressions would not stray too far from what is the most recognizable and accepted look of these characters. But in this story, there is a critical scene where Hordak is explaining the secret history of his home world Eternia and how he once had a young student who craved unlimited power, a young student by the name of Skeletor. But who, in the name of all that is holy, is this monstrosity? Apparently, this was the interpretation of Skeletor as done by the book's artist at a time before Skeletor was hideously transformed into a talking skull head. Okay, so this was like his most closest interpretation of a human, but it seems like a decision was made to have him already looking like a goblin before this. Now, this is a far cry from the dashing look of the blue-skinned Prince Keldor who was presented to us in the 2002 cartoon series and now universally accepted to be Skeletor's true persona before he became the Lord of Destruction. Alright, so what in the hell is this supposed to be? Okay, to my knowledge, at no time in the 80s was Skeletor's origin look ever revealed except in this book. Okay, and he was never ever certainly shown as something so terrifying. They had him looking like a decaying pumpkin here. Now, whatever anyone says, back then in 1985 when this book was published, this was canon. Okay, it was officially approved by Mattel. You know, unless you're telling me that something like this slipped by them, I don't know. But I do know that, you know, this thing right here is the stuff of nightmares. So that's the video, guys. As always, if you wish to support the channel, there's links in the description for either joining the YouTube memberships here or my Patreon page. And I appreciate you guys a lot for helping me to continue bringing you content here on the channel. And before I go, here is the face to haunt your nights forever.